really. Um, I want to jot down some things that I got in my head. Um, I'm trying to make sure Jesus Christ is not the angel of the Lord or is the angel of the Lord. Because, first thing, let's see what they identify the angel of the Lord as. This is Judges chapter 13. It says, "And the angel of the Lord appeared unto the woman and said unto her, Behold, now thou art barren and bearest not, but and bearest not, but thou shalt conceive and bear a son. Now therefore beware, I pray thee, and drink not wine, nor strong drink, and eat not any unclean thing. For lo, thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and no razor shall come upon his head, for the child shall be called a Nazarite unto God from the womb, and he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the people, out of the hands of the Philistines, sorry. The woman Then the woman came and told her husband, saying, a man of God came unto me, and his countenance was like the countenance of an angel, very terrible. But I asked him not whence he was, neither told me his name. But he said unto me, Behold, thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and now drink no wine, nor strong drink, neither eat any unclean thing, for the child shall be called a Nazarite to God from the womb to the day of his death. Then Manoah entreated the Lord and said, O my Lord, let the man of God, which thou didst send, come again unto us, and teach us what we shall do unto the child that shall be born. And God hearkened unto the voice of Manoah, and the angel of God came again unto the woman as she sat in the field, but Manoah, her husband, was not with her. And the woman made haste and ran and showed her husband and said unto him, Behold, the man again the man hath appeared unto me that came unto me the other day. And the woman made haste and ran and showed her husband and said unto him, Behold, the man hath appeared unto me that came unto me the other day. And Manoah arose and went after his wife, and came to the man and said unto him, Art thou the man that speaketh unto the woman? And he said, I am. So that lets you know the angel of the Lord is identified as a man. Let's go back to Exodus real quick. Let's do Exodus real quick. Let's hear some. Let me share something with you in Exodus chapter 23. God says, Behold, I send an angel before thee to keep thee in the way and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions. For my name is in him. God said, My name is in this angel. And what did Moses say? God will raise a prophet up like unto me. Now let's go back some more. Let's identify the angel of the Lord some more. Let's go to Exodus, I believe, chapter 3. Let's go to chapter 3. Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flocks to the backside of the desert, and came to the mountain of God, even to Horeb. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burnt with fire, and the bush was not consumed. And Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burnt. And when the Lord saw that he turned aside to see God, God called unto him out of the midst of the fire, out of the midst of the bush, and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, here I am. And he said, draw not nigh hither. Put off thy shoes from thy feet, for the place where thou standest is holy ground. Moreover, he said, I am the God of thy father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon God. So when they see the angel of the Lord, they think they're looking upon God. Let's see who Jacob wrestled with. Here he says, and he rose up that night and took his 2 wives and his 2 women servants and his 11 sons and passed over the ford Jabbok. And he took them and sent them over the brook and sent over that he had. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the break of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint. And he wrestled with him, and he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and has prevailed. And Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, wherefore is it that thou doest ask after my name? And he blessed him. No, he said, Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, wherefore is it that thou doest ask after my name? And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of that place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. So we know that the angel of the Lord is identified as looking like a man. Let's go back to Judges real quick before I go on to the next, because let's see so we can understand how the angel of the Lord would not give his name to nobody. Let's go back to Judges. Here we go. And it says in verse 13, let's start with verse 17 of chapter 13 of Judges. And Manoah said unto the angel of the Lord, what is thy name, that when thy sayings come to pass, we may do this honor? And the angel of the Lord said unto him, why askest thou after my name, seeing it is a secret? But God said, this angel bears my name. And Abraham saw Jesus at the tent door, and he ate with him. Well, he watched them eat, the 3 men. Okay, let's go do that real quick. We'll do that real quick. It says, and the Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door, and bowed himself towards the ground, and said, my Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. See, I'm trying to put a picture together. I'm seeing that the angel of the Lord, It was the first estate that Jesus was in. He was like the angel of the Lord. He was the angel of the Lord, but he gave up being an angel to take on flesh and blood body. And when he died, he got back into that flesh and blood body that was crucified and became a spiritual being. But he was known as the Son way before he got into that body. But he was in an angel form. And then when he got killed and got back into that body, he was like the Son of Man. But then I go to Daniel. I'm just doing this so I can research it when I get home. But then when you go to Daniel, chapter 7, it says, I saw in the night vision, behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. But that's after Jesus was crucified. That's when he got back into the body, and that body became spiritual like his spirit. So, but then if you go to Daniel chapter 3, he says, chapter 3, verse 24. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astounded and rose up in haste and spake and said unto his counselors, did not we cast 3 men? He go to men again. 3 men. This is before Jesus takes on a body. 3 men bound into the midst of the fire. They answered and said unto the king, true, O king. He answered and said, lo, I see 4 men loose walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt. And the form of the 4th is like the Son of God. So that's probably Jesus in his spiritual form. That looks like it. He looks like an angel. He was considered an angel before he was considered a son. That's probably why the demon says, I know who thou art, the Holy One of God. And let's go to Isaiah real quick. Let me give you a little bit of when his body came into play was in this. He said in Isaiah chapter 9, for unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful. Look at God giving names to this body that he's going to put the spirit in. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Look at God preparing this body. Of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even forever. Listen to this last sentence. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this. Just like the zeal of the Lord of hosts created that spirit and then created the worlds through it. When he was saying, let there be light, let there be a firmament, let us make man in our image, he was doing it within that spirit that he would call his son and create a body for him. That's how God made reconciliation for us and brought salvation to us and edified us how to love him and walk in holiness. He showed us how to walk in holiness according to human standards. Now, listen to this. In Isaiah 44, verse 6, thus saith the Lord, the King of Israel, and his Redeemer, the first and his Redeemer, the Lord of hosts. I am the first and I am the last, and beside me there is no God. That's God's title. Let me show you how God played the character and personality of Jesus Christ, so you can understand that that's God's personal life that he made as a spirit first, and then he made a body for him so that he could communicate his words to us, because he told Moses, no man can see my face and live. And tell the children of Israel, do not climb up this mountain to gaze upon their Lord and perish. You can Google everything I'm telling you. And that's why he foreknew it. So he made a life that he can interact with sinful people, and the ones that love him, he would save them. Here we go. I'm going to do this last thing right here. Then I got to go. I'll elaborate some more when I come back from work. He says in Revelation chapter 1. Remember, God's title is I am the first, I am the last. This is what John said. I was in the spirit on the Lord's day and heard behind me a great voice as of a trumpet saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last, Let's see who's saying it. And what thou seest, write in a book and send it unto the seven churches which are in Asia, unto Ephesus, and unto Smyrna, and unto Pergamos, and unto Thyatira, and unto Sardis, and unto Philadelphia, and unto Laodicea. And I turned to see the voice that spake with me. Here we go. And being turned, I saw seven golden candlesticks, and in the midst of the seven candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girded about the paps with a golden girdle. So Jesus is claiming God's title. That means God is the one, like he told you, the zeal of the Lord of hosts in Isaiah chapter 9 will perform this. God is able to say these things through the Spirit because that's his communicator. That's how he speaks his word. That's why when they say it, tell you in, what was it, John? When it tells you in John, first, before, let me go and let me show you in John real quick. That's why in John, when it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. That Spirit is known as God's Word, communicator. And the Word was God. In a sense, it is God. That's who's performing through that vessel that would be called his Word. The same was in the beginning with God. That Spirit was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. Correct. God made everything through that Spirit. In him was life, of course. That's what God is known for, and that's what he did through that Spirit. It said, in him was life, and the life was the light of men. Of course, God created everything through him. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. There was a man sent from God whose name was John. The same came for a witness, to bear witness of the light, that all men through him might believe. He was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. That's where God shined his light through. That's who God shined his light through. Because he created everything through that Spirit. He was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. That was the true light, which lighteth every man that cometh into the world. He was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. Because of sin. He's a righteous light. God does everything perfectly and well with that Spirit. You would have to be in fellowship with God to know that Jesus is sent by God. That's why he says the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. But as many as receive him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name, which were born not of blood, nor of the will of flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. Anything that involves the flesh is the will of man. Flesh and blood, the will of man. You have to live for God and God only. You have to wait on his commandments, and you have to be all about God. Then you can become sons of God. But the devil uses the excuse that you need clothes, and you need food, and you need money, you need a house, you need this, you need that. The will of man. The will of God is to always be on duty for God, waiting for God's commandments. You can't be the son of God, because if you love the world and the worldly things, he says friendship with the world is enmity with God. And that's what the devil does. He makes you an enemy of God by making you love the world and the material things. And it says, and the word was made flesh. That Spirit was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. That's one thing. Now I wanted to share with you Daniel, how angels are known as sons of men and men. Let's go here, and then I gotta go. Here it says, in those days, I, Daniel, was mourning 3 full weeks and ate no pleasant bread. Neither came flesh nor wine in my mouth, neither did I anoint myself at all, till 3 whole weeks were fulfilled. And in the 4th and 20th day of the first month, as I was by the side of the great river Hiddekel, Then I lifted up my eyes and looked, behold, a certain man, clothed, clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz. His body also was like the barley, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as a lamp of fire, and his arms and feet like in color to polished brass, and the voice of his words like a multitude. That's the angel. I believe that's Jesus Christ. He called him a man this time. But this, go to verse 18. Then there came again and touched me one like the appearance of man, and he strengthened me and said unto me, O man, greatly beloved, fear not, peace be unto thee, be strong, yea, be strong. And when he had spoken unto me, I was strengthened, and said, Let my Lord speak, for thou hast strengthened me. Then said he, Knowest thou where, knowest thou, knowest thou wherefore I came unto thee? And now will I return to fight with the prince of Persia. And when I am gone forth, lo, the prince of Greece shall come. But they say, man. And then go to verse 16. He says, And behold, one like the similitude of the Son of Man touched my lips. Then I opened my mouth and spake and said unto him that stood before me, O my Lord, by the visions my sores are turned upon me, and I have retained no strength. For how can the servant of this my Lord talk with this my Lord? For as for me, straightway there remaineth no strength in me, neither is there breath left in me. Then there came again and touched me one like the appearance of a man. So there you go. Jesus is I know Hebrews says that the world to come is not given to the angels, but is given to us. But Jesus left his angelic state, that's what I believe, and took on son state, a flesh and blood body. And he would have to take it on and be eternally like that. That's why he went from angel to son of God. God bless you. I gotta go.